I am a media specialist, and for 17 years I was a classroom teacher. I thought to myself, in the future, every teacher is going to be a media specialist, or every media specialist is going to be a teacher. Either way, I was positioned correctly to work with students and continue learning.
Ms. Gallman is an amazing instructional facilitator, leader. She's incredible. What she does is she teaches. She helps teachers teach. She helps students with the teaching piece, the learning piece.
So this one you feed me. All the activities I do every day, it's about supporting student learning. Either I am helping a teacher as they are teaching, or I'm directly working with those students, or anything I've placed in the Media Center is about whether or not it opens a world of learning to a student.
It's active, they're doing research, they're reading, they're writing, they're moving, they're talking, they're thinking, and they're growing as learners.
There's a saying here, do it for the Valley, and we follow that tradition here at Owen quite a bit.
We love our teachers in the Valley, and they do a wonderful job, and it's nice for other people to recognize and know that cool stuff is happening out here in Swannanoa and Black Mountain.
We are a wonderful school, and we are here to serve those children and help their children learn, and I think that brings a great sense of pride. Warhorse pride. As I met the freshmen this year, I told them, I'm going to know you in your English classes, your social studies classes, your science classes, and your PE classes, so we're going to get to know one another. And hopefully you're going to come to know that you can trust me. So when I walk up all those steps of Owen High School, and I think about that student I've worked with from freshman orientation all the way through graduation project, and then across that stage at graduation, and it feels good to be a small part of that success. That's why I do this every day.
I'm not a typical teacher. I wasn't the best student. I was an emotional kid, dealt with a lot of things at home, moving away from family, things like that. And I was an angry kid, really angry. As I get to know the students, I like to talk to them about the things that I've done in the past, whether I'm proud of it or not proud of it, or I felt it was a stepping stone.
Mr. Dare has such a unique connection to his students. I see him working one-on-one with students in the hallway, talking to them, being a mentor, being a coach, not only on the athletic fields, but in life as well.
Making a connection with the students is very important. I want them to understand that this is a safe environment. I want them to understand that this is a place where you not only learn about your subject, but you learn about how to deal with things, how to be an adult, how to take on life's little turns.
They know he's here for the right reasons. They know he's here for them.
That one concept of he wants to be here and doesn't have to be here, it helps them to understand that what goes on in my classroom is a little bit more special.
He has a lot of fun with the students, and that is one thing that some students have to get a little used to, his sense of humor.
Dimitri Mendelli, man, look at this guy. Full on out beard, long hair, typical Russian.
Man, these kids are engaged. Not just because they're playing with, glass instruments, or they're, blowing something up, or at least with the thought of blowing something up, or, they're working on a computer. It's just that type of environment. And it's quick, too. I mean, I like to keep things fast-paced.
Science is important to Sean. Sean really believes in his subject.
I went to school to be a biochemist, and then I was given the opportunity, as life does, to get into a classroom for the first time. And I haven't looked back since.
Our 8th grade science scores really are something we're proud of here at Enka Middle School. The 8th grade science professional learning community is strong, and Sean is an integral part of that learning community.
I want to be remembered as a light, someone that they could always turn to, whether it's a question about physics or a question about where they should go next. The middle school just clicks because it's what I was called to do, honestly.
I am a teacher because I believe that each child, no matter what age, has so much potential to become his or her best self. And I just love that I get to be one of the first ones to start that with children.
Miss Sullivan truly loves every child. And she shows that not only to the kids, but she truly loves her coworkers. She makes us smile every day.
I tell my students each and every day how much I love them. Even when I'm disciplining them, or even when I'm writing a note home to mommy and daddy, I tell my student, I love you, and I want what's best for you.
When I walk into Caitlin's classroom, she is side by side with a student, or she is leading an entire group of students with a smile, with enthusiasm.
I put myself in their shoes, and I'm a kid at heart, and so I try to look at everything that I do with a kindergarten student lens. So when I'm teaching letters or sounds, I try to pretend I'm a kindergarten student learning those letters and sounds for the first time.
She might be reading a book, she might be assisting a child who doesn't understand a concept. She is not afraid to get on the floor with them. It's whatever it takes for them to earn her trust and respect in order for her to be able to move them along the pathway of learning.
So anytime you see S and H together with me.
Fairview is an amazing school, and I have been teaching here for all 6 years. And I wanted to join a school that had a tight community, that had leadership and that had administration that was supportive and encouraging of its teachers. And I feel very blessed that I have that here at Fairview.
It is so important that we have a community here that believes every child can learn at high levels, and we also believe that it's our responsibility to make that happen.
As an educator, I want to be remembered as someone who loves with her whole heart her students and her families. I want my students to know that Miss Sullivan had high expectations for them, but was going to love them and treat them each as their own unique individual. I want them to understand that kindergarten is a magical year where they can have fun and learn at the same time.
I think a lot of students who come to the Discovery Academy are looking for a different type of education that will trigger them to get excited about school. So we have to find creative ways to really let them demonstrate what they're capable of. And I think they can do that here.
Well, it's funny, we are a STEM school, and E does not stand for English here at Nesbitt Discovery Academy. It stands for engineering. But if you ask students within the building, what's your favorite class? Who's your favorite teacher? Likely you'll hear Tina Evans.
Nothing beats the feeling when a student makes a connection. And when a student walks in and says, I hate to read, and I say, oh, okay, game on. And so when that student comes back and says, I really enjoyed that book, and it lights a spark, it makes me feel like, yes, this is really worth something.
Tina's real world experience, it's very beneficial at a place like Nesbitt Discovery Academy, because not only does she know the content that she's teaching, she can make that relevant to the workplace and future job interests.
Having a journalism background, I can draw from that, from the writing experiences. In order to succeed in life, everyone has to be able to write. You have to be able to communicate.
The narrator is like watching the character and knows what the character thinks, but isn't actually the character.
I believe that besides having students succeed in education, we also have to help them succeed in life. How to be a better person, how to help other people, how to think about people besides themselves. And when they leave my classroom, I want them to realize that they can do whatever they want to do. They can be what they want to be.
Tina definitely empowers her students, and she goes above and beyond to do that. And the first way she does that is she makes that classroom a comfortable place. And it's okay to give a wrong answer in that classroom. She makes that classroom home.
These students are amazing. They work really hard, they really care. I think that teaching is one of the best professions that anyone could ever possibly choose. It's incredibly humbling, and every day I walk into the class and I feel that I learn as much or more than what my students do. Sometimes I feel like the luckiest teacher in the entire world, because a lot of these students don't have a lot, but yet they offer a lot and they're eager to learn, and that's what's important.
I have always known that I wanted to be a teacher. I was that little girl that lined up her stuffed animals and taught them spelling and reading, and I just always knew that this was my calling.
Jennifer's students look up to her like a second mom. They know she loves them, they know she cares about their learning, and they know that she wants them to be the best person they can be when they grow up.
I have to think of each child as an individual and what's going to meet their individual needs.
Jennifer has a huge heart, not only for her students, but for all students at Barnardsville Elementary School. They look to her for guidance. They want to rise to her expectations.
Probably one of the most challenging aspects of my job is having students in my room at varying levels at the same time. So I have to think, okay, what can this kid do independently while I work with these two?
It might be called organized chaos, She actually sees 12 different groups in the day.
Keeps me on my toes. Every day is different because everybody's challenges are different every day. So in my opinion, it's a blessing. It's what keeps me motivated to come to work every day. There has to be patience when working with children with special needs. That individual attention that they get can make or break them. It can make them love school or hate school. It can help them make those tiny baby steps that we're looking for towards our big goal. And so if that means I need to devote my individual time to that child to help them make those baby steps, then that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do whatever it takes.
When I walk in Miss Vann's class, I see kids working independently on different stations.
You might see somebody on an iPad using technology. You might see a small group happening around a table with me, working on whatever skill they need to work on.
Jennifer makes my job very easy. I know for certain that children are learning in her classroom, that she's organized, that parents will be happy with her.
I want people to know that there's more to teaching than just books and learning your times tables and learning your letters. There's a connection there that has to be made with kiddos. I want kids to remember the fun times that we had, the connections that I made with them. I want people to say, she cared, and I know she cared.
Valley Springs Middle School is a place to be if you're passionate about your students.
So our relative location is 511 feet.
We care about them as learners, certainly, but we care about them as people, and they know it, and that's why they go the extra mile for us, because they feel our admiration and our desire to help.
Right? Is 1, 2, 3.
Cathy was selected, I feel, because she is such a hard worker and she is an innovator. She's always looking for ways to improve student learning, very dedicated.
In my classroom, students should feel safe, and they should feel safe to make mistakes as well as be successful. I'm telling them, you are not here to learn math, you are here to learn how to solve problems. And we don't even know the problems that you're going to be solving.
Cathy is a fine example of the dedicated educator. She came from a different background into education because she believes in education.
I think because of my experience in business, I'm able to demonstrate and discuss some of the authentic uses of the math that I'm presenting them. I want each of my students to be curious. I want them to be scientists and to be curious about the world and how it works and how they fit into it. I really want each of them to just learn to love to learn.
When I walk in Cathy's classroom, I know I'm going to see students on task, involved and engaged.
Being in 7th grade as a math teacher, I still can affect their desire to learn math.
She doesn't accept students that aren't interested. She'll win them over one way or another.
They need to be inspired.
Bulldoggedness might be a description of that.
That 7th grade age group, has some opinions about math, but I can change them.